All right. What's going on, everyone? Chase Reiner here. I've been working really hard on developing a system where I don't really have to do anything, but I'm still able to earn over $100,000 a month with this system. And I want to show you how I'm doing this. I want to show you like the complete behind the scenes, how I've been automating all of these things. So Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok videos, long form content. This is actually something that we're in the work doing. We're planning on right now. Emails, getting a bunch of signups, getting thousands of email opt-ins a month, and then getting a good amount of revenue. Okay, so these are actually my goals, but I want to show you where I'm at right now, and I want to show you how you can get started. If you've never made money online before, this is going to be a really good video, I think, for you, because I'm going to be showing you, again, everything that I'm doing to make over $100,000 per month, okay? So let me go ahead and share this with our group. I'm going to copy this URL, share it in our Discord server. What's up top? G. And then we will get started. Send off an email to. Now, one disclaimer I want to give you, by the way, is that while I do make a lot of money, I also spend a lot of money as well on labor and development of our tools and support. And so just because I make over $100,000 a month doesn't mean that I necessarily keep all of that money. And especially since it's Q4, I'm trying to spend more money right now just because I don't want to have a bunch of money at the end of the year. That means I'm going to have a lot more taxes that I'm going to have to pay. So Q4 is really the time that I'm going to spend the most money just so I can write off certain things like labor and advertising and all that good stuff. Okay. What's up? What's up, Bald Man? It's an interesting name. All right. So it's a little early, so I'm just kind of waking up. I'm drinking some tea, so bear with me if I'm a little bit slow right now. I wanted to do this, get this out of the way just so I can kind of show you what's going on behind the scenes and just update you. So I want to just give you a quick timeline, okay? So about 8 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I started selling services, and I got my service-based business selling websites and SEO services up to about $50K a month. But that was probably the most I ever worked. I was working probably 10, 14-hour days to make sure all of the clients were, the services were fulfilled. And I was pretty miserable. So this was after the first couple of years. So maybe that's like year 2, I was at about 50K. Okay. Now, I again wasn't making 50K. I wasn't making net 50K because I had employees that I was paying. I was paying people to help fulfill the services, and I realized that I didn't want to have to do services forever. I would rather, do something that doesn't require me being as accountable for the delivery of everything. And so that's when I started selling courses. So I figured that, a lot of people would love to learn how to get their first client, love to learn how to make their first $1,000 and how to run an agency and leave their 9 to 5. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start creating courses showing people how to do that. And for the next couple of years, I would say from year 2 to 5, I would say 3 years, I was doing courses, and I made a lot of money with courses, actually. In fact, I think I made more money with courses than I did with what I'm doing right now. But here's the thing. The problem with courses and with services is you don't really get to build a company that really has a high level of a lot of exit value, right? Nobody really wants to buy a service-based business, and nobody really wants to buy a course-based business. I'm sure you could argue that they'd want to buy the leads and the clients or the email lists, but overall, these two types of businesses don't really have a whole lot of value if you're going to go and try to sell them. So I started thinking about what's my long-term game plan. At this point, I think I was about 28 years old, 27, 28, and I started thinking about building software. So year 5 to 8 software. I would actually say 6 to 8. This timeline might be a little messed up, but either way, that's when I started developing software. So that's when I built my first tool. And in fact, the very first tool I ever built was not ShineRanker. It was actually a different tool called Rank Chaser or something like that. And that tool flopped. I built another tool after that. That one flopped as well. And then I wound up building another tool after that. That one flopped. And then I built ShineRanker. So ShineRanker is actually the 4th software I've ever built. Actually, it's the 5th. There was another one too. And then here's the thing though. Every time you pivot, okay, this is why I want to tell you this, because before I go into the system, I want to explain to you something that might help you based on where you're at. Every time you pivot in business, you're going to lose revenue, okay? Even if you go from your 9 to 5 job into, let's say, selling services, you're going to probably temporarily not make any money. And so it doesn't mean that you're doing the wrong thing. It just means that anything that you do, you have to think about the short term and the long term. And the short term, you probably will lose some money, but the long term, things usually get easier. And so every time I've pivoted like this, things have gotten progressively easier. And I'm at the point now where I really literally could just work maybe, I don't know, 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week if I wanted to, and I would still make over $100,000 a month. And that's not me bragging. That's just me saying that I figured out a way to make things a lot easier by incorporating certain elements. Now, could have I done that sort of lifestyle with these other businesses? Sure. But I'm honestly just not a fan of these other businesses, and I don't like the stigma that comes with them. I also don't like the type of people that you have to deal with when you're in these types of businesses. Selling services is very stressful. People are constantly complaining. People are constantly, wanting to find ways for you to do more stuff for them. And I just am not a fan of services. It's not my favorite. Okay. Courses, nobody wants to be the guru. Nobody wants to be like the self-help person. Right. And while I still do courses every now and then, I prefer not to stay there. I'm just not a fan of it. Okay. And software I really like because, again, with software, not only do you get a very scalable model where, of course you still have these people that are going to complain and they, need a lot of help and that sort of thing, but it's a lot more hands-off, right? You can scale a software company and hire developers and hire a support team, and they can help kind of grow the software without you really being involved in it. And on top of it, if you think about the exit value on a software company, it's a lot higher than any other business. So if you were to, let's say, make, $1 million a year in reoccurring subscriptions, with software companies, you can generally look at or expect a 5 to 10x return. Okay. So let's general company value return acquisition. Just spelled that last one wrong. So trying to find a good article here, but just trust me when I tell you, most companies, like SaaS companies, you can get a 5 to 10x valuation or exit value. So if you have a $1 million per year company in subscriptions, which is about $100,000 or a little bit less per month in monthly reoccurring, you can sell that business for, $5 to $10 million. Okay. If you have a $2 million per year business, then you're looking at, 10 to 20 mil. Okay. So for me, I was already making, $1 to $2 million a year with courses. And I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be a little bit harder to do software, but if I can focus on growing that, then I actually have a long-term game plan. If I ever want to, sell, or if I want to get investors, I have a lot more value in this. And so if you're making $1 million a year with software, you're actually making a lot more than that in general, just for the fact that that company is worth so much more than if you were to sell a course. The other thing about software is that there's reoccurring, right? So if I make $100K a month with software, and I make $100K a month with courses, well, guess what? The courses generally aren't reoccurring unless you sell membership, and memberships are a little weird. I've sold those before, but overall, software is the way to go. So now here's the thing, though. You might be thinking, okay, I should be doing software right now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it takes a little while to build this up, right? So for me, when I started out, I didn't have money to afford software. So I make over 100K a month with software, but the amount of money that I spend per month is probably anywhere between, 40 to 50K, maybe more, between hosting and support and, development. And now I can choose to spend less. I could spend less and not grow my company as fast, but I choose to spend a certain amount of money to be able to create a good company that grows. And so there's a lot more stress when you have more money coming in and more money going out. It feels more stressful. And so part of your role as you grow is also becoming more centered, right? You have to be good at not worrying about things as much. The more you are somebody that owns a big company that makes a lot of money, and you start worrying about, oh, this person's leaving the team, or this person's complaining, or this isn't working, the more you're going to start tanking the company, and you're going to start stressing yourself out as well. And so there's a lot of lessons in here that I don't think people realize that they have to actually understand before they can get to this amount of money. If you're trying to get to this amount of money, 100K a month, and you're trying to do it with something like software, that's a completely different dragon than trying to get to 100K a month with something like services. And so, you could argue that that services is more stressful, but you could also argue that it's less stressful in certain ways too. But I'm not going to get too into that. Again, I just wanted to kind of break down where I'm at. So with all of that being said, I want to talk to you about where I'm at currently. What does my system look like that makes money? And I'm even going to break down my financials for you. I'm very transparent with everything. I don't really care if people see where I'm at. In fact, I always think that it's really cool when you look at a business and they actually show you what's going on behind the scenes, what's actually working, how they're making money. I honestly really don't understand the point in hiding things. It doesn't make sense to me. So if you're watching this live, or you're watching the replay, let me know if you're interested in me keeping you updated with this type of stuff. If you'd like to see more videos just showing you behind the scenes what I'm doing. Before I get into it, let me see the chat. Commercial real estate investment done right will reduce your tax burden to 0. Yeah, well, there's tons of ways to invest, right? But my favorite way to invest is in my own company, because I get the biggest return on my investments from investing in my own company. But I definitely like the idea of diversifying, because you actually, I feel like, get less stress when you have your money coming in from multiple different avenues. So if one thing breaks, you still have money coming in. Would definitely appreciate that. Okay, cool. Nico says yes. So let's go over some financials really quick just so I can show you. So year to date on Stripe, I have two different payment processors, right? I have Stripe and then I have PayPal. Okay. So it's just two different payment processors. Some people prefer paying on PayPal for my products. Some people prefer paying on Stripe. So this year to date on Stripe, it's September 6th right now. You can see my gross volume is $883,000. And my last month's or last 4 weeks was 77,000 just on Stripe. Okay. We're going to go look at PayPal in just a second. Last 12 months, so 1 year, is 1.2 million. And again, I'm not saying this to brag to you. I'm just showing you what's working for me and what's not. Let me go pull up my PayPal account just so I can show you what we're working with here. A lot of gurus don't pop the hood. Yeah, I really don't understand why. I mean, like, look, if we're going to be talking about making money, then we should be very transparent about how what the money is and how it's being made. 1 second. I'm going to pull up PayPal here. All right. Last 30 days on PayPal is $103,000. And that's actually a lot more than I thought it was. Let me actually see here. So last 30 days. So it looks like in the last 30 days between Stripe and PayPal, we made about, where did my pay? Oh yeah, here we go. About 77 plus 103. So we made about $180,000 in the last 30 days. Okay. Now that's not including, refunds or, different business expenses. Like that's not my net profit. And I'm not going to go necessarily into my net because I'd have to break down a lot of stuff. I'd have to go into QuickBooks, but at least you know how much money the company's actually generating. And by the way, most of this is organic. I'm not spending really any money on ads. The only time I really spend money on ads is usually at the end of the year when I'm trying to just dump cash into, things that I can write off. So 180 grand last 30 days. And then in the last, let's do 2023 and year to date. So 883 plus 651. So we are at 651 plus 883. So we're about 1.5 million this year to date. And in the last 12 months on both, we got, I guess I can't do that. Either way, we're making about $2 million a year. Okay. So what does that mean for you? What is that? Because again, this isn't about me. This is more about you. And you shouldn't be comparing yourself to what type of money I make because it's really irrelevant. The type of money that I make. The only reason, again, I'm showing you this is because I want to show you that my system is working. A lot of people look at my stuff and they go, Chase, you're just lying to us. You're not actually making money. And I don't know how people still think that because I own a legitimate company with thousands and thousands of users and paying members. So it's very odd to me that people still think that. But either way, how am I growing the system? And what are my plans as the owner of this company to keep growing? How am I going to get to 3 million a year? How am I going to get to 4 million a year? And that's what we're going to talk about. And how are we going to get you to your first $1,000 in sales? If you're not making at least $1,000, and I say this in all my videos, if you're not making at least $1,000 with AI, and an automated system, you are doing something wrong. One of the biggest opportunities on the internet right now is what I've been using for my own company, and that's really just automation and AI. And so, if you can watch this video, if you can stop yourself from going to the next video and watching a video about a cat, and you can just focus for like 1 hour and watch this video, I would be very, very surprised if you didn't go and take the things that I'm going to tell you today and you didn't go make your first $1,000 in sales. Okay. Do you have set times? You usually always go live. Not really. Like I said, I'm a pretty busy guy. And so, I only really go live when I have time for it. And so I try to go live, as much as I can, but I don't always have the time. Okay. So let's break down, what I want to do first is I want to talk about priorities. Okay. So if you don't have a list of priorities and you don't have goals, you're not going to get to your destination. Okay. So basically imagine like driving a car without a steering wheel. Okay. You're just going to crash. And so step number one is figuring out what is the target you're trying to hit. Now, if you're trying to get to $1,000 in sales, right? Then what we want to do is we want to figure out, okay, what are we going to have to do to get to that $1,000 in sales, right? So my goal right now is to go from around 140K a month with the software to around 200K a month with the software. And so I have to break down what do I have to do and be able to hit that target, okay? And that's where this other stuff comes in. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to show you actionable steps on the things that you're going to actually have to do for this. But either way, step number one, let's say we set a goal. It's $1,000 in sales. By the way, if you could just really quickly in the chat, just give me an idea on what a goal would be for you. Just a good first goal. What sort of target would you like to hit? And I'm not saying, $1 million, $10 million, any of that. I'm saying like a goal that you would want to hit in, like, let's say your first month. If you could spend 30 days, let's say you did a 30-day challenge, what would be that first goal that you'd want to hit? Would it be $1,000? Would it be $10,000? Just let me know in the chat, okay? So let's say we have $1,000 as our goal. Now, it's very important, though, as I said here a second ago, that we have a time frame, okay? If you don't have a time frame, you're not going to get it done. So kind of like with driving a car without a steering wheel, if you just say, oh, I want $1,000 in sales, if you don't say when you want it by, it's basically like driving without gas, okay? So when do you want to accomplish this? SEO video show, dude, what's up, bro? Dude, it's good to see you, man. How's everything? So we need to have a time frame. And I like to go within 30-day chunks, and then I break down those 30-day chunks into days, and then I break it down into hours and minutes, okay? So let's say we want $1,000 in sales in 30 days. Oh, wow, we got a lot in here. Rob Moore says 1,000, 2K by Kroll's World, AI Connection, 2,000 a month, 1,000, okay. Chase brought me to my first $1,000 in sales. Oh, what's up, Brandon? Good to see you, dude. You're awesome, bro. That's funny. Greg, 2,000, 100 at least. Okay, so these are all great goals. Awesome. So what we need to do is we need to say we want $1,000. Let's just say, because on average, it seems like everybody's saying about 1,000. Let's just say we want $1,000 in sales in our first 30 days. Okay, we're just going to break it down like that. And actually, I'm going to give you a little bit more credit because I think you can do more than 1,000. Let's say you want 10,000 in 30 days. Okay. So what are we going to do to get to 10,000? So we need to break down what are we going to be doing in these 30 days. And remember, the reason why we're doing all of this is because when we start to plan all this out, we're going to realize that we're doing a lot of irrelevant stuff that has nothing to do with this. Okay. And what's going to happen is as we start to really plan on what we want, we're going to realize that we need to stop doing certain things that aren't giving us any results. So when you're going and scrolling on Facebook, or you're going and watching, a video about a monkey that's on a unicycle, that's not going to make you any money. Okay. And the more we can ask ourselves questions, is what I'm doing contributing to my goal, or is it taking away from it? Right? It's very easy to spend time doing a whole lot of nothing. And so if you're sitting here and you're thinking, wow, I really would like to get to this goal and I'm doing all these things, but they aren't bringing any results, then I have I have something to tell you. You're doing a bunch of nothing. And that's not me trying to be mean to you. I'm just saying, like, I'm being honest with you. If you're spending a bunch of time doing something and it's not giving you a result, you're not doing anything important. You're just doing a bunch of random stuff. Okay. So that's why we have to have priorities. And that's why we have to break down this system for you, so that anytime you're doing something that has nothing to do with this system, you look at it and you go, oh my God, I'm going and doing this random thing again. I need to stop and I need to go back and focus. Because if you're not making $10,000 a month yet, your issue isn't that you can't, it's that you aren't able to focus long enough to be able to get the thing that you want. Because 10K a month, I'm telling you, is very, very doable. Like, it's not something that's like completely unreachable. I have so many people that I know that make this type of money literally in days. And you don't have to have a massive following to do this. So, okay. So step one, we create a goal. Okay. So write it down. If you can follow along with me, it would help, because if you actually go and write this down for yourself, it's going to create a certain level of accountability for you as well. And I think you're going to actually get better results if you actually follow along with what I'm doing right now and just bring open a notepad and write this down. So step one, we're going to write down our goal, $10,000 in sales in 30 days. Okay. So write that down. Whatever your number is, if you want to change that, go ahead. Now, step number two, we need to break down how much money we're going to have to make per day and what we're going to have to sell in order to get to this result. Okay. So let's say we want to make 10,000. Let's just go ahead and divide that by 30. So we're going to go boom, 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 divide 30. Okay. So we're going to have to make $333 per day in sales to be able to earn $10,000 in a month. Okay. So what we need to figure out is what activities will produce $300 in sales every single day. Okay. Now, there's so many different ways that you can make money, right? You can sell services. You can do affiliate marketing. You can do courses. You can, you could literally go door to door and you could make this much money. I almost guarantee you that if you found a product that you think people would want and you went door to door, or even a service, if you went door to door and you sold, window cleaning or something, car detailing, you would only need 3 people to pay you like $110 to make this. Okay. So it's, again, not that you can't make this amount of money. You could easily make $10,000 a month, but you have to focus on what you want to sell and what you're willing to do to be able to get this. And you also have to realize this is a numbers game. If you reach out to 100 people and only one of them is interested, then you either have a bad product or you're in the wrong environment. Okay. Where's the best place to sell bottles of water? In the middle of the desert where nobody has water. Okay. So if you can identify something that people want, that they need, and you can talk to them about it and you can sell them on it, you can sell a lot of things to those people. So we need to make $333 a day in sales. Now we need to break down in hours and minutes. What are we going to have to do to be able to reach this per day? What hours are we going to have to spend to be able to hit this? Okay. So $333 a day divided by, let's say, 8 hours. That's your hourly rate. You're getting paid $41 an hour. Okay. $41 an hour. Now, first of all, I'm sure you could find a job that'll pay you this if you went and just applied somewhere that, wanted to hire you for digital marketing. If you know a little bit about digital marketing. So one of your ways out, if you're not interested in building your own business, just go work for a company. There's a lot of companies that I'm sure will pay you this rate if you're good at marketing. But second of all, we need to figure out what activities, and this is really, 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 this is the really important thing that I want to show you here. Once we figure out what your time is worth, then we can actually assign a value to what you're spending your time on. And we can figure out whether or not it's something that you need to do or something that somebody else can do for you. Okay. And the faster we can start figuring out where your time is going and whether or not we can outsource your time, this is the big determining factor if you're ever going to make it big. So I want to just give you an example of this. I made over $2 million in the last year, last 365 days. How much do you think my time's worth? Just guess. So if we were to break my time down based on how much time I spend on my business and how much money I make, it's probably about, I would say, $10,000 an hour, because I don't spend that much time actually in the business, right? What does that mean? So there's 2 different ways to work with your business, right? So you can work on your business or you can work in your business. What's the difference between the two? So when you work on your business, you're working on delegation. You're working on making sure that things are running, that your strategy is strong. You're working on innovation. You're working on hiring. When you're working in your business, you're doing manual things. This is when you're getting paid an hourly rate. You're basically your own worker. So you're the boss and the worker, okay? And at a certain point, you want to go from you working for money to what? To your money working for you. That means that you're spending money. You're spending money to produce a greater result than what you're paying. So if I tell somebody, hey, I'm going to pay you $10 an hour, and I want you to go door to door selling chocolate bars, and I give them the inventory and I give them, everything they need, and they go out and in 3 hours, they produce $100 in sales. Okay. Now I had to pay for inventory. So let's say it was $20, and then I had to pay for their hourly time, which is 3 hours. So that's $50. And I take home $50, but I do nothing. All I do is I just get the employee. Okay. And so again, going back to this right here, if your hourly time is $41 an hour, how do we delegate this task to somebody else? Now, you're not going to be able to delegate until you start producing. So first of all, we need to produce. We need to produce a result. If you've never produced a result, you never made a sale, then you're not going to be able to hire anybody. Okay. So step number one, you don't really need to worry about outsourcing, but this is something that you want to think about because you're going to start realizing how valuable your time actually is. So if you're spending, let's say 8 hours a day, right? And half of that time is going on Facebook doing random stuff. You're going on Facebook and you're like, oh, I wonder what I can, sell today. And then you go and look at what other people are doing and blah, blah, blah. So you just spent 4 hours of your workday and that cost you $166. And if you do that for the next 30 days, that costs you $5,000, and that costs you half of what your goal is. See that? So literally just your lack of focus is costing you right now thousands and thousands of dollars. The fact that you haven't sat down and focused on figuring this out yet. What your goal is, how you're going to break it down, what you're going to sell, and what your hourly rate is. The fact that you haven't done that is the reason, and I'm talking to this to people who haven't made $10,000 a month yet online. The reason why you haven't made it yet is because your lack of focus and planning is what got you here, okay? Now, the thing is that the thing that you're doing currently, the lack of focus and lack of planning, is you have to change this behavior, because until you change this, you're not going to change your result. And this has nothing to do, by the way, notice how I've never said anything about a product. I never said you have to do this hack and sell this thing. Okay, so none of this has to do with what you've learned. It has nothing to do with what you're selling. It has nothing to do with some special hack. All it has to do with is your priorities and your focus and your planning and your goals. And that's why I always say to people, don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what this other guy's doing. Don't worry about the person that's on Instagram flexing their Bugatti and the fact that they just made money with stocks and real estate. That has nothing to do with you. Your lack of focus and planning has to do with your own personal mindset and goals. Okay? So before you can work on any of this, right? Before we work on the $10,000 in 30 days, the $333 a day in sales, the $41 an hour, and then outsourcing and producing your results, we got to figure out, what do I want? What are my goals? And so if you're sitting there and you're going, well, I don't know what I want. Okay. Well, who's going to come up to you and tell you what you want? Only you can do that. So I can't come up to you and say that you should do this. I can't come up to you and say you should do AI or, hire people to build you an app or to do services. The only thing that you can really do at this point is figure out, what do you or what do I want? What do I want? Do I want to sell services? Do I want to sell? And you might be thinking, well, what's the easiest way to do it, Chase? Well, as I told you at the beginning of this video, I've done it all. I've done services, I've done courses, I've done software, and everything has its drawback, okay? There is no best way. The only way is the way that makes you, at the end of the day, feel happy and fulfilled, okay? And you might have to think about it like this. $10,000 in sales for you might be different than $10,000 in sales for me. Why? Because we're at different points in our journey. It might be easier for you to make $300 in a day just selling services to people because you'd only have to sell 3 products. And if you don't have a big audience, then you only have to get 3 sales. Now, if you have a big audience, then getting $300 in sales by selling a $1 product might be more doable or more scalable or more easy. So either way, green tea, morning, top G mindset, doing black tea. All right, so let's take a break for a second. Anybody want to jump in here? Let's see. I like to figure out how to build system automate. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take it away from you for a second because we've been talking about you. Let's talk about my business, and then you can figure out your own goals based on the things I show you about my business, okay? Because again, with the business that I have, I'm making over $2 million a year, and it's very, very automated, okay? I'm able to produce results like this. It's a different ratio though, right? Let's say my ratio is more like 100K. Let's say it's 3,300 a day. Let's say the hourly rates, I don't know, 4,000 an hour or 400 an hour, whatever it is, okay? So I'm going to show you how I got here, and then you can reverse engineer my funnel if you like it and you want to do the similar thing, okay? So what do we got to do? What do I have to do every single day? And I'm going to show you the things that produce the most results for me, and you can figure out if they produce results for you or not. So first of all, in order to make money, what do we need? People that want to buy things from us, right? So I need leads. Everybody needs leads. It all starts here. If you don't have people that are interested in buying things from me, you're not making any money, okay? So how do we get leads? What's the easiest way to get leads? I found the easiest way to get leads is to do short form content. Why? Because it gets views. One of the easiest ways to get free views and traffic is literally just to go and post short form, 30 to 60 second videos. So I'm going to give you an example of this. If I go on Instagram right now and I look at a video that I've posted, except I didn't post this. This was my team and our software and the automations we run. If I post a short form video, you can see I got 9,000 views on this video. 2,000, 4,000, 15,000. And now you might be thinking, well, Chase is a brand new account. Okay. If I bring up my other accounts, I have like 10 different Facebook pages. They're all brand new pages, have barely any followers. They all get thousands and thousands of views. So the cool thing about short form content is you don't actually have to have followers to get leads and views. Okay. If you set up an automation that I'm going to share with you, you can literally tap into unlimited leads and you can turn up this automation as high as you want. I mean, you can really go hard with this automation. I'm going to show you how you can. Okay. And by the way, there's plenty of people that we have as testimonials. I'm not just seeing this on my end. If you look at our landing page for our software, people are using not just our tool, but their own strategies as well to get thousands and thousands of views with short form content. Okay. So this isn't just some magical thing that I'm like saying, oh, it's only working for me. You can go look at the testimonials. There's real people, tons of real people that are posting these short videos with brand new accounts and they're getting thousands of views. Okay. And so if you can get views, you can get leads. Okay. And so that's our first question is how do we get views and leads? And what's the easiest, most efficient way for getting views and leads? And it's short form content. I can tell you that hands down. The reason why I spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on development for our software and for our team and for our company around short form content is because of the fact that it works. I don't just build it for you. I build it for us. I build it for my company because I know it works. And I'm not going to go build something that I know that I don't think is going to work. Okay. Or I don't have proof that it works. So if we can do, let's say 2 to 3 videos, short videos per day on, let's say Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok every single day. In the next 30 days, if we can get 2 to 3 posted every single day, we can pretty much almost guarantee. I'm not going to say guarantee just because there's no guarantees in life, but we can almost guarantee that we're going to be getting, 100 to 200 leads in the first month, if not more. Okay. So if you, so now it's not about whether or not you can get the leads, right? It's about, can you sell? So anybody can walk out of their house right now and start knocking on doors. You could probably, if you got up right now, let's say it's in the morning your time. Let's say it's 8 a.m. your time. I know some of you it's not, but let's just say it is. Reasonably, you could probably get up right now and go knock on 100 doors if you were fast enough. But the issue isn't whether or not you can get the leads, whether or not you can get people to open their doors. What's the issue? Will they buy? And what am I selling? And what are they interested in? Okay. So this part's easy. If you can't get views and leads with short form content, I don't know what you're doing. And if you're not trying out ShineRanker yet to go and get, to produce these videos, you literally go into our tool and click on AI video tools, and you can produce these short form videos that get views. If you can't do that and click a button and get views and leads, then you need to reevaluate where you're at, because this is really like very, very simple. And I actually, if you want to, I set up a tutorial for you so you can go watch this. You go to shineranker.com and then enter your email. You'll get taken to this page. Watch this video. It shows you how to run this tool. It's a $1 trial. It's 24-hour trial. If you don't like it, cancel. Okay. But if you can't get views with our tool by producing videos and leads, then again, you're doing it wrong. So this part, I'm not even going to question whether or not you can do it, because I already know you can. Okay. Now, here's the hard part though. The hard part is not getting the views and leads. The hard part is, what am I selling? What can I get people to buy? What are they interested in? Now remember, if you're dealing with 100 to 200 leads, you might have to be a little bit more hands-on. So I'm getting, let me just show you here because I like to be transparent. I'm getting about 400 to 500 leads a day right now. And this is just to one of my email lists. This doesn't include all my new followers every day, my group members. I mean, I get thousands of leads probably every day. Okay. Again, that's not to brag. I'm just explaining to you that you can't compare yourself to me if you're wondering, well, Chase can sell this thing. Why can't I? When I sell something, I'm selling to hundreds of thousands of people. So if I do a video like this, I'm reaching thousands of people. If I go and do an email, I'm reaching hundreds of thousands of people. If I'm doing social media or anything, I'm reaching thousands of thousands of people. If you're starting out and you're doing content, let's say you're getting a few thousand views and every month you're getting a couple hundred leads. If you go and send an email, guess what's going to happen? You're probably not going to get that many sales. Why? Because you're dealing with a smaller quantity of people. And because you're dealing with a smaller quantity of people, you can't replicate exactly what I'm doing, because I'm doing a blanket approach. That means I'm going and I'm trying to reach out to more people by doing things like what I'm doing right now, a live stream that is going to serve more people at once. If you're only getting 100 to 200 leads a month, which again is very doable, then what do we need to do? We probably need to nurture a little bit more. Okay. How do we do that? One of the best ways to sell things is to get on the phone or get on a video call and walk somebody through personally how to get set up on something. Okay. How does that work? Well, and again, this comes back to what, so here's your question. What am I selling? You're selling whatever's going to be valuable to that person. And so a lot of people are worried about how much money they're making. And the real thing that they need to be worried about is how much money is the person that they're selling to making. Meaning that when somebody buys your product, they need to get an immediate value increase in their lives or their business. So let's say I sell to you our tool, ShineRanker, right? I'm going to say, hey, you need to buy ShineRanker. It's $1 for the 24-hour trial, and then it's $97 a month. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question. And this is a very important question that you should ask to your prospects. And I'm going to ask you this right now, but I want you to answer me in chat. if I can get you a result of 100 to 200 leads that are going to be likely to pay you anywhere between $100 to $200 each. Let's say that's I don't know. Let's say you sell 10 of these for $100. Whatever we're selling, that's $1,000. First of all, what would that be worth to you? $1,000, right? Now I want you to answer this. Would that be worth $97 to make $1,000? Probably, right? And to get a bunch of leads. So what are we doing for our people that we're selling to? If we start getting people coming in, right? We start doing these videos and we start getting leads and they start saying, wow, I saw that you made an AI video with a cloned version of yourself. How do I do that? What we're going to sell to them isn't necessarily the tool. If we're going to sell ShineRanker or we're going to sell a service, what we're selling is value. We're selling what would it be worth to them to be able to do that? And how can we make it easy for them to create their first video? Does that make sense? So when you're dealing with less people, you want to think about how can I get on the phone with them and how can I create a way for them to get set up, getting results as quickly as possible. And that's why what I always recommend is if you're not getting to the number of sales that you'd like, and let's say you have more time than you do money, right? And by the way, when you start out, you have pretty much unlimited time. Well, not unlimited, but you have a lot of time to be able to go work and learn the thing that you're trying to do and sell. But as you get further in your journey, it actually reverses. And so you go from having more time than you do money to more money than you have time. And then that's when you have to start to learn to delegate, but you're not there yet. And so what we want to figure out is how do we get your time? I forgot what I was saying. How do we get your time to produce more money? Whatever. Anyways, I'm sure it'll come back to me. So, will they buy? What am I selling? What are they? I'm trying to figure out where we were at. I lost it. Let me answer some questions while I wait to get it back. Chase, I told you before you're a great motivational speaker. Thank you. When I send emails to my leads, they get routed to spam and promotion folders all the time. Probably use a better CRM. So like when I was using MailChimp, that was happening to me like crazy. So I would start working on maybe using like something like ConvertKit or use a company that probably uses better servers that aren't getting, their users aren't hammering their users as much or their email list as much. And so the spam level goes down. Leverage. Yeah, I totally lost what I was saying. So let me actually kind of go into what I was actually going to try to show you though today, because I kind of went off on a tangent. Either way, so when it comes to doing this stuff, right? Let's say you wanted to start really automating your leads coming in because you want to sell things, right? You want to sell whatever you're trying to sell. Let's say you're trying to sell a $1 subscription to ShineRanker, and then that's a $97 per month value, and you're getting a 40% commission on that. Well, you can go and make videos yourself, right? You can go and start making these videos with ShineRanker, or you can just have somebody go do it for you, all right? I don't actually really do anything anymore. I have AI or virtual assistants pretty much automate everything that I do. So if I'm going to be selling these $1 ShineRanker subscriptions, I don't want to have to go and do the content to get the views. I don't want to have to go and do the emails. I don't want to have to go and do the videos. I really just want an automated system that I can pour money into and I can get results out of. And so what I recommend is you want a way to work on your business where you're able to automate what you're doing and you're able to outsource what you're doing. And if you have a few dollars, but you don't have a lot of time, what you can work on is getting people to run your automations for you. So what I would do, and this is what I'm doing currently, is I would go over to a website called Online Jobs. And I'd go and find somebody that can be a virtual assistant for me, that can run my AI tools. Okay. So you can go find somebody right now. If I go over to onlinejobs.ph and I go to search for talent, and I'm going to type in virtual assistant. So we got $7 an hour, $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $5 an hour, $4 an hour, $3 an hour. So let's say we picked this person, and we contacted them and said, hey, I need, so for $352 a month to work 4 hours a day, I need you to go and start generating these videos for me, right? So you're spending, let's say, $300. I don't know where we just were. Let's just go back over here. So you're spending $300 per month to have somebody work 80 hours per month, I believe, because that's 20 hours a week. Yeah. And in those 80 hours per month, they're going to be running a tool. Let's say it costs $97 a month. So you're spending, let's say you're out of pocket $400 a month. Now, within that month, let's say you get 200 leads. Now, this person, the one that you hired, might be responsible for going and creating your content and scheduling it out. Okay. And you might be responsible for going and responding to the leads and getting on the phone with them. And that's what I recommend. And this is, now I kind of remember what I was going to say. If you're going to be selling things to people, instead of trying to sell things right out the gate, do something for free. If you have, yeah, this is what I was going to say. If you have more time than you do money, start focusing on getting your foot in the door by offering extreme value right out of the gate. Okay. Offer value that I'm not going to offer. So remember, I'm doing a blanket approach. I can't get on the phone with everybody and offer them free stuff. Why? Because I don't have time for it. I have a lot more people that I have to deal with. And so I can't go and offer everybody a free thing. You can. If you have time and you need to start getting clients paying you or leads paying you, start offering something so valuable for free that they would be dumb not to keep paying you. Okay. I'll give you an example. We had a kid come up to me at a car show. And if you don't know, I really like car shows, but he came up to me and he said, how do I make money? How do I get people to pay me? And I looked at him and I said, it's not about you. It's about them. And he said, I know that, but how do I get them to give me money? Like I know it's about them, but I need them to give me money. And I said, well, what are you giving them? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, that's what I'm asking you. What do I sell them? And I said to him, well, it's not about what you're selling to them. It's about what value are they getting, right? So let's just say it like this. Let's say right now I put in the chat my phone number, and I said anybody in the next 8 hours can call me, and I'll get on the phone with you, and I'll give you an hour of my time for free, and I'll help you make your first $1,000. And I'll coach you through it. This is normally let's say a $10,000 coaching call. Now, obviously, I'd probably get a lot of people calling me. Here's the problem, though. First of all, I can't reasonably respond to everybody, but I would make money off those phone calls. Why? If I'm giving them away for free, how would I make money? And the answer is I would make money off those phone calls because that first phone call would give the person so much value that they would say to me, Chase, how do I keep paying for your time? Right? And so your issue is not whether or not you can get people to pay you. Your issue is that you're so focused on what you're selling and you're not focused on the value you're providing. And if you just focused on giving away so much value that people would literally pay you for what you do, they would say, hey, Chase, I feel kind of dumb not asking. How much would it be worth? How much could, would it be possible? What would be the offer for me to get on the phone with you again? Or what would be the offer if you could help me with this? How much could I pay for this? And so you want people asking you, hey, why are you giving this away for free? This is so valuable. I want to pay for this. How do I keep paying for this? And so the answer I gave to that guy was like, look, you gotta start going up to people at this car show. Stop worrying about what you're trying to get and start worrying about what they're trying to get. Go take a picture of somebody's car and say, hey, where do I send this to you? What's your phone number? How can I send you more of these pictures? When can I get in front of you? When can I give you your first free photo shoot? It's not hard to build a profitable relationship if you bring more to the table than the other person is. And so instead of focusing on what you're selling, focus on who you're selling to and what are they getting. And how much value can you give to that person that they feel uncomfortable not paying you? Okay? So as I was saying back here, respond to the leads, get on the phone. So you could have somebody create content scheduled out, and this is pretty easy. I mean, we're doing it in our team. So they can use ShineRanker, or you can hire video editors. I pay about $20 a short to have people go and edit these videos for me. And then all I have to do is have them go into Radar and post this out for me. I don't have to do anything besides just tell people what I want. I say, hey, go create this content scheduled out for me, and then they go publish it. And then it gets published on all these different platforms. Okay. And then from there, if I wanted to, let's say I don't want to get on the phone either. I want somebody else to do that. Okay. Well, I can go back to online jobs and find somebody that's good, that has experience with telemarketing. And I can say, okay, I want to pay that person $300 for 30 hours. 80 hours. So now we're spending $700 a month, and we've now automated our content creation, our scheduling, our responding to the leads, getting on the phone and selling. And let's say we're selling a service, then we find somebody that can do the fulfillment. And then we find another person. So you just build like that. And it's not rocket science. Like, you don't have to be really, really smart to do this stuff. Okay. You just have to be smart enough to be able to know things that other people don't know. Right? So if somebody goes, hey, how do I make money with AI? You go, look, I'll show you how we do it. I'll set it up for you. So I'm not going to give you an exact number on what you should sell, what you should do. I will tell you, you can sell ShineRanker if you want. If you go to shineranker.com, you go to the ThriveCart page, type in partner at the end, get a $1 trial link, and you can sell what I sell. But just because I'm selling it doesn't mean that it necessarily will work for you. It could. You could get sales. But if you're not getting sales, let's say you're getting views and you're getting leads and you're not getting sales, the problem isn't the product. Okay? It's never the product. The problem is the value. And if people aren't buying, it's not because you can't sell the thing. It's because the thing that you're selling to them isn't perceived valuable enough yet for them to buy. And so if you want to sell something, add value. How do you add value? Get on the phone, offer a training, offer a free setup. There's a guy, he's one of the highest paid affiliates at High Level. His name's Dom Baptist. This guy's a great example of this. He just sells an affiliate. He just sells an affiliate to Go High Level, which is a software company. If you look him up, it's Dom Baptist. This guy has 18,000 subscribers, which isn't that much. I know it might sound like a lot to some people, but it's not that much. I mean, you could do this with just short form content alone. And this guy makes close to $200K a month in affiliate. And what does he do? He gets on the phone with people and he sells a $300 service where he just helps people get set up with this tool. And so maybe that's your thing. Maybe you sell a service. You say, hey, for $300, I'm going to help you get, your AI videos automated for you. We're going to get all this content ready and posted for you. And then you give them your affiliate link. And now not only are they paying for a service, but they're paying you monthly. This guy does 16 hours of Zoom calls a day, something crazy like that. Maybe not that many, but do something like that. Can you save this note as a document we can download? If not, I'll just put it in the description. But that's pretty much it. That's a lot of rambling. Hopefully some of that helped you. If it did, let me know. If you want me to do more videos like this in the future, also please let me know. It does help me just seeing your feedback. And sorry I blinked out a little bit earlier. I totally forgot what we were talking about for a second, but yeah. So that's it. I'm going to be focusing on what I was talking about with you today, just delegating and hiring. I still have a lot of stuff that I have to actually get done in that regard. It's an ongoing process, but hopefully that helps you make your first $1,000 if it does, or it helps you kind of have a better game plan. Let me know. And again, make sure you set goals. Have a goal. If you could get anything from today, set a goal and set a time. I want $1,000 in the next 30 days, and then go break down how you're going to make that happen. And if you just focus on that, right? Kind of like me, I'm breaking it down as well. If you just focus on a goal and a time frame, you'll be amazed at how fast you'll get there. Okay. So we'll see you very soon. Till we do, happy money making. We'll see you guys. Bye.